Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet all of you with the greeting words of peace. We said in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. For those who don't know, that simply means peace be unto you. And when you see others say wa alaikum salam, that is them returning the greetings of peace, wishing me peace back. Ramadan Mubarak is me wishing everyone a blessed Ramadan. And when they say Ramadan Kareem, they are returning the greeting of wishing me a blessed Ramadan. All right, we're just waiting on the queue currently. In the meantime, those of you all who would like to join the community and tap into the online side and the Zoom, you can go to www.thepowercall.net. You can go to www.thepowercall.net. So it's going to be a free profile that you can create. We have the Quran in there. We have a Ramadan guide in there. And that's also where you can support the Power Call as well. If you would like to support the movement that we have, I would like to shout out. We're going to go ahead and shout out those who support it. So we want to shout out to Verlita Carter. Shout out to Verlita Carter. Shout out to Marquintez Johnson. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Marquintez Johnson. And we also want to shout out. Andrea Clark. So shout out to Sister Andrea Clark. Thank you for the support of the Power Call. Let's get started here. Part number 18. Let me share my screen so everybody can see it. Uh-oh. My bad, y'all. I'm on the wrong screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, we should be good now. Part 18. So we're starting off on chapter 23. So we right on chapter 23, part 18. The believers. Section 1. Success of the faithful. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Successful indeed are the believers who are humble in their prayers and who shun what is vain and who act for the sake of purity and who restrain their sexual passions, except in the presence of their mates or those whom their right hands possess, for such surely are not blamable. But whoever seeks to go beyond such are transgressors. And those who are keepers of their trust and their covenant, and those who keep a guard on their prayers, these are the heirs who inherit paradise. Therein they will abide. And certainly we create man of an extract of clay. Then we make him a small life germ and a firm resting place. Then we make the life germ a clot. Then we make the clot a lump of flesh. Then we make in the lump of flesh bones. Then we clothe the bones with flesh. Then we cause it to grow into another creation. So bless he Allah, the best of creators. Then after that, you certainly die. Then on the day of resurrection, you will surely be raised up. And indeed, we have made above you 7 ways, and never are we heedless of creation. And we send down water from the cloud according to a measure. Then we cause it to settle in the earth, and we are indeed able to carry it away. Then we cause to grow thereby gardens of palm trees and grapes for you. You have therein many fruits, and of them you eat. And a tree that grows out of Mount Sinai, which produces oil and relish for the eaters. And surely there is a lesson for you in the cattle. We make you to drink of what is in their bellies, and you have in them many advantages, and of them you eat. And on them and on the ships you are born. Section 2, Noah. And certainly we sent Noah to his people. So he said, O my people, serve Allah. You have no God other than him. Will you not guard against evil? But the chiefs of those who disbelieved from among his people said, he is nothing but a mortal like yourselves, who deserves to have superiority over you. And if Allah had pleased, he could have sent down angels. We have not heard of this among our fathers of yore. He is only a madman, so bear with him for a time. He said, my Lord, help me against their calling me a liar. So we revealed to him, make the ark under our eyes and according to our revelation. Then when our command comes and water gushes forth from the valley, take into it of every kind a pair of 2, and thy people except those among them against whom the word has gone forth, and speak not to me in respect of those who are unjust, surely they will be drowned. Then, when thou art firmly seated, thou and those with thee in the ark say, praise be to Allah, who delivered us from the unjust people, and say, my Lord caused me to land a blessed landing, and thou art the best of those who bring to land. Surely there are signs in this, and surely we are ever trying men. Then we raised after them another generation. So we sent among them a messenger from among them, saying, serve Allah. You have no God other than him. Will you not guard against evil? Brother Khalil?
Section 3. Prophets are prophets after Noah, and the chiefs of his people who disbelieved and called the meeting of the hereafter a lie, and whom we had given plenty to enjoy in this world's life, said, this is only a mortal like you, eating of that whereof you eat, and drinking of what you drink. And if you obey a mortal like yourselves, then surely you are losers. Does he promise you that when you are dead and become dust and bones, you will then be brought forth? Far, very far is that which you are promised. There is naught but our life in this world. We die and we live, and we shall not be raised again. He is not but a man who has forged a lie against Allah, and we are not going to believe in him. He said, my Lord, help me against their calling me a liar. He said, in a minute, while they will certainly be repenting. So the punishment overtook them in justice, and we made them as rubbish, so away with the unjust people. Then we raised after them other generations. No people can hasten on their doom, nor can they postpone. Then we sent our messengers one after another. Whenever its messengers came to a people, they called him a liar. So we made them follow one another, and we made them stories. So away with a people who believed not. Then we sent Moses and his brother Aaron with our messages and a clear authority to Pharaoh and his chiefs. but they behaved haughtily, and they were an insolent people. So they said, shall we believe in two mortals like ourselves while their people serve us? So they rejected them and became of those who were destroyed. And certainly we gave Moses the book that they might go aright. And we made the son of Mary and his mother a sign, and we gave them refuge of a lofty ground having meadows and springs. Section 4, Higher Values of Life. O yea, messengers, eat of the good things and do good. Surely I am knower of what you do. And surely this is your community, is one community. And I am your Lord, so keep your duty to me. But they became divided into sects, each party rejoicing in that which was with them. So leave them in their ignorance till a time. Think they that by the wealth and children wherewith we aid them, we are hastening to them of good things. Nay, they perceive not. Surely they who live in awe for fear of their Lord, and those who believe in the messages of their Lord, and those who associate not with their Lord, and those who give what they give while their hearts are full of fear that of their Lord they must return. These hasten to good things, and they are foremost to attaining them. And we lay not on any soul a burden except to the extent of its ability. And with us is a book which speaks the truth, and they are not wronged. Nay, their hearts are in ignorance about it, and they have besides this other deeds which they do. Until when we seize those who lead easy lives among them with chastisement, lo, they cry for secure. Cry not for secure this day. Surely you will not be helped by us. My messages were indeed recited to you, but you used to turn back on your heels, haughtily, passing nights and talking nonsense about it. Do they not then ponder the world? Do they not then ponder the word? Or has there come to them that which did not come to their fathers of old? Or do they not recognize their messenger, that they deny him? Or say they, there is madness in him? Nay, he has brought them the truth, and most of them hate the truth. And if the truth follow their desires, the heavens and the earth, and all those who are therein will perish. Nay, we have brought them their reminder, but they turn away from their reminder. Or dost thou ask them a recompense? But the recompense of thy Lord is best, and he is the best of providers. And surely thou callest them to a right way, and surely those who believe not in the hereafter are deviating from the way. And if we show mercy to them and remove the distress they have, they would persist in their inordinacy, blindly wandering on. And already we seized them with chastisement, but they were not submissive to their Lord, nor did they humble themselves, until when we opened for them a door of severe chastisement, lo, they are in despair at it.
Sister Kenyatta.
Section 5, polytheism is self-condemned. And he it is who made for you the ears and the eyes and the hearts. Little it is that you give thanks. And he it is who multiplied you in the earth, and to him you will be gathered. And he it is who gives life and causes death. And his is the alternation of the night and the day. Do you not then understand? Nay, they say, the like of what the ancients said. They say, when we die and become dust and bones, shall we then be raised up? We are indeed promised this, and so were our fathers before. This is not but stories of those of old. Say, whose is the earth and whoever is therein, if you know? They will say, Allah's. Say, will you not then mind? Say, who is the Lord of the seven heavens and the Lord of the mighty throne of power? They will say, this is Allah's. Say, will you not then guard against evil? Say, who is it in whose hand is the kingdom of all things, and he protects, and none is protected against him, if you know? They will say, this is Allah's. Say, whence are you then deceived? Nay, we have brought them the truth, and surely they are liars. Allah has not taken to himself a son, nor is there with him any other God. In that case, would each God have taken away what he created? And some of them would have overpowered others. Glory be to Allah above what they describe, the knower of the unseen and the seen. So may he be exalted above what they associate with him. Section 6. Regrets of the wicked. Say, my Lord, if thou show me that which they are promised, my Lord, then place me not with the unjust people. And surely we are well able to show thee what we promise them. Repel evil with that which is best. We know best what they describe. And say, my Lord, I seek refuge in thee from the evil suggestions of the devils, and I seek refuge in thee, my Lord, lest they come to me. Until when death overtakes one of them, he says, my Lord, send me back, that I may do good in that which I have left. By no means, it is but a word that he speaks, and before them is a barrier until the day they are raised. So when the trumpet is blown, there will be no ties of relationship among them that day, nor will they ask of one another. Then those whose good deeds are heavy, those are the successful. And those whose good deeds are light, those are they who have lost their souls, abiding in hell. The fire will scorch their faces, and they therein will be in severe affliction. Were not my messages recited to you, but you used to reject them? They will say, our Lord, our adversity overcame us, and we were an erring people. Our Lord, take us out of it, that if we return to evil, we shall be unjust. He will say, be gone therein, and speak not to me. Surely there was a party of my servants who said, our Lord, we believe, so forgive us and have mercy on us. And thou art the best of those who show mercy. But you ridiculed them until they made you forget remembrance of me, and you used to laugh at them. Surely I have rewarded them this day because they were patient, that they are the achievers. He will say, how many years did you tarry in the earth? They will say, we tarried a day or a part of a day, but ask those who keep account. He will say, you tarried but a little, if you only knew. Do you then think that we have created you in vain, and that you will not be returned to us? So exalted be Allah, the true King. No God is there but he, the Lord of the throne of grace. And whoever invokes besides Allah another God, he has no proof of this. His reckoning is only with his Lord. Surely the disbelievers will not be successful. And say, my Lord, forgive and have mercy, and thou art the best of those who show mercy.
Brother Javar?
Chapter 24, The Lights. Section 1, Law Relating to Adultery. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. This is a chapter which we have revealed and made obligatory, and wherein we have revealed clear messages that you may be mindful. The adulteress and the adulterer flog each of them with 100 stripes, and let no pity for them detain you from obedience to Allah. If you believe in Allah in the last day, and let a party of believers witness their chastisement, the adulterer cannot have sexual relations with any but an adulteress or any idolaters. And the adulteress, none can have sexual relations with her but an adulterer or an idolater. And it is forbidden to believers. And those who accuse free women and bring not 4 witnesses, flog them with 80 strips and never accept their evidence. And these are the transgressors, except those who afterwards repent and act right. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. And those who accuse their wives and have no witness except themselves, let one of them testify 4 times, bearing Allah to witness that he is of those who speak the truth. And the 5th time, let the curse of Allah be on him, if he is of those who lie, and it shall avert the chastisement from her. If she testify 4 times, bearing Allah to witness that he is of those who lie. And the 5th time, that the wrath of Allah to be on her, if he is of those who speak the truth. And were it not for Allah's grace upon you and his mercy, and that Allah is oft returning to mercy wise. Section 2, Aisha's slanderers. Surely they who concocted the lie are a party from among you. Deem it not an evil to you. Nay, it is good for you. For every man of them is what he has earned of sin. And as for him among them who took upon himself the main part thereof, he shall have a grievous punishment. Why did not the believing man and the believing woman, when you heard it, think well of their own people, and say, this is an evident falsehood? Why did they not bring 4 witnesses of it? So as they have not brought witnesses, they are liars in the sight of Allah. And were it not for Allah's grace upon you and his mercy in this world, in the hereafter, a grievous chastisement would certainly have touched you on account of the talk you indulged in. When you received it on your tongues and spoke with your mouths, that of which you had no knowledge, and you deemed it a trifle, while with Allah it was serious. And why did you not, when you heard it, say it beseems us not to talk of it? Glory be to thee. This is a great calumny. Allah admonishes you that you return not to the like of it ever again, if you are believers. And Allah makes clear to you the messages, and Allah is knowing wise. Those who love that scandal should circulate respecting those who believe. For them is a grievous chastisement in this world and the hereafter, and Allah knows while you know not. And were it not for Allah's grace on you and his mercy, and that Allah is compassionate, merciful.
Brother Roberto.
Assalamu alaikum.
Like, are you on Bluetooth?
I got the headphone.
Yeah, we can't hear you with the headphones that good.
Okay, one second. Okay.
Much better.
Okay. I was following a different translation, but now I can see here.
Want me to come back to you?
All knowing, all wise. O you who believe, follow not the footsteps of the devil. And whoever follows the footsteps of the devil, surely he commands indecency and evil. And were it not for Allah's grace on you and his mercy, none of you would ever have been pure. But Allah purifies whom he pleases, and Allah is hearing, knowing. And let not
You there?
let not and let not the possessors of grace and abundance among you swear against giving to the near of kin and the poor and those who have fled in Allah's way, and pardon and overlook. Do you not love that Allah should forgive you? And Allah is forgiving, merciful. Surely those who accuse, chase, believing women, unaware, are cursed in this world and the hereafter, and for them is grievous chastisement. On the day when their tongues and their hands and their feet bear witness against them as to what they did. On that day, Allah will pay back to them in full their just reward. And they will know that Allah, He is the evident truth. Unclean things are for unclean ones, and unclean ones are for unclean things, and good things are for good ones, and good ones are for good things. These are free from what they say. For them is a forgiveness and an honorable sustenance. Section 4, preventative measures. O you who believe, enter not houses other than your own houses until you have asked permission and saluted their inmates. This is better for you that you may be mindful. But if you find no one therein, enter them not until permission is given to you. And if it is said to you, go back, then go back. This is pure for you, and Allah is knower of what you do. It is no sin for you to enter uninhabited houses wherein you have your necessities. And Allah knows what you do openly and what you hide. Say to the believing men that they lower their gaze and restrain their sexual passions. That is pure for them. Surely Allah is aware of what they do. And say to the believing women that they lower their gaze and restrain their sexual passions and do not display their adornment except what appears thereof, and let them wear their head coverings. Let their wear head their
Head coverings.
yes, head coverings. I just got this different translation. Um I can only see up to 31.
And let them wear their hair coverings over their bosoms.
Okay. Okay. Well, their hair coverings over their bosoms, and they should not display their adornment except to their husbands or their fathers, or the fathers of their husbands, or their sons, or the sons of their husbands, or their brothers, or their brothers' sons, or their sisters' sons, or their women, or those whom their right hands possess, or godly or guideless male servants, or the children who know not women's nakedness, and let them not strike their feet, that the adornment that they hide may be known, and turn to Allah all, O believers, so that you may be successful, and marry those among you who are single, and those who are fit among your male slaves,
And your
and your bondsmen, no, and your females slaves. If they are needy, Allah will make them free from want out of His grace, and Allah is ample given, knowing. And let those who not find a match keep chaste until Allah makes them free from what from want out of His grace. And those of your slaves who ask for a writing of freedom, give them the writing, if you know any good in them, and give them of the wealth of Allah, which He has given you, and compel not your 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 slave girls to prostitution when they desire to keep chaste in order to seek the frail goods of this world's life. Whoever compels them, then surely after their compulsion, Allah is forgiving, merciful. And certainly we have sent to you clear messages and a description of those who passed away before you, and in that who guard against evil.
Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Section 5, manifestation of divine light. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. A likeness of his light is as a pillar on which is a lamp. The lamp is in a glass. The glass is, as it were, a brightly shining star, lit from a blessed olive tree, neither eastern nor western. The oil whereof gives light, though fire touch it not, light upon light. Allah guides to his light whom he pleases. And Allah sets forth parables for men. And Allah is knower of all things. It is in houses which Allah has permitted to be exalted, and his name to be remembered therein. Therein do glorify him in the mornings and the evenings. Men whom neither merchandise nor selling diverts from the remembrance of Allah and the keeping up of prayer and the paying of the poor rate. They fear a day in which the hearts and the eyes they fear a day in which the hearts and the eyes will turn about, that Allah may give them the best reward for what they did, and give them more out of his grace. And Allah provides without measure for whom he pleases. And those who disbelieve, their deeds are as a mirage in a desert, which the thirsty man deems to be water, until when he comes to it, he finds it not, and he finds Allah with him. So he pays him his due. And Allah is swift at reckoning. Or like darkness in the deep sea, there covers him a wave, above which is a wave, above which is a cloud, layers of darkness, one above another. When he holds out his hand, he is almost unable to see it. And to whom Allah gives not light,
Right?
he has no light.
Wow.
Somebody's mic is open.
Admin team, if y'all can please help with the mics. Thank you.
Section 6, manifestation of divine power. Seest thou not that Allah is he whom do glorify all those who are in the heavens and the earth, and the birds with wings outspread? Each one knows its prayer and its glorification, and Allah is knower of what they do. And Allah's is the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and to Allah is the eventual coming. Seest thou not that Allah drives along the clouds, then gathers them together, then piles them up, so that thou seest the rain coming forth from their midst? And he sends down from the heaven clouds like mountains, wherein is hail, afflicting therewith whom he pleases, and turning it away from whom he pleases. The flash of his lightning almost takes away the sight. Allah causes the night and the day to succeed one another. Surely there is a lesson in this for those who have sight. And Allah has created every animal of water. So of them is that which crawls upon its belly, and of them is that which walks upon 2 feet, and of them is that which walks upon 4. Allah creates what he pleases. Surely Allah is possessor of power over all things. We have indeed revealed clear messages, and Allah guides whom he pleases to the right way. And they say, we believe in Allah and in the messenger, and we obey. Then a party of them turn away after this, and they are not believers. And when they are invited to Allah and his messenger, that he may judge between them, lo, a party of them turn aside. And if the night is on their side, they hasten to him in submission. And if the right is on their side, they hasten to him in submission. Is there in their hearts a disease, or are they in doubt, or fear they that Allah and his messenger will deal with them unjustly? Nay, they themselves are the wrongdoers.
Let's see. Sister Ebony.
Section 7. Section 7, Establishment of the Kingdom of Islam. The response of the believers when they are invited to Allah and his messenger, that he may judge between them, is only that they say, we hear and we obey, and these it is that are successful. And he who obeys Allah and his messenger and fears Allah and keeps duty to him, these it is that are the achievers. And they swear by Allah with their strongest oaths that if thou command them, they would certainly go forth. Say, swear not, reasonable obedience is desired. Surely Allah is aware of what you do. Say, obey Allah and obey the messenger. But if you turn away, he is responsible for the duty imposed on him. And you are responsible for the duty imposed on you. And if you obey him, you go aright. And the messenger's duty is only to deliver the message plainly. Allah has promised to those of you who believe and do good that he will surely make them rulers in the earth as he made those before them rulers, and that he will surely establish for them their religion, which he has chosen for them, and that he will surely give them security in exchange after their fear. They will serve me, not associating aught with me. And whoever is ungrateful after this, they are the transgressors. And keep up prayer and pay the poor rate and obey the messenger so that mercy may be shown on you. Mercy may be shown to you. Think not that those who disbelieve will weaken the truth in the earth, and their abode is the fire, and it is indeed an evil resort. Section 8, respect for privacy. O you who believe, let those whom your right hand possesses and those of you who have not attained to puberty ask permission of you 3 times, before the morning prayer and when you put off your clothes for the heat of noon and after the prayer of night. These are 3 times of privacy for you. Besides thee, it is no sin for you nor for them. Some of you go round about waiting upon others. Thus does Allah make clear to you the messages, and Allah is knowing wise. And when the children among you attain puberty, let them seek permission as those before them sought permission. Thus does Allah make clear to you his messages, and Allah is knowing wise. And as for the women past childbearing, who hope not for marriage, it is no sin for them if they put off their clothes without displaying their adornment. And if they are modest, it is better for them. And Allah is hearing, knowing. There is no blame on the blind man, nor any blame on the lame, nor blame on the sick, nor on yourselves that you eat in your own houses, or your father's houses, or your mother's houses, or your brother's houses, or your sister's houses, or your paternal uncle's houses, or your paternal aunt's houses, or your maternal uncle's houses, or your maternal aunt's houses, or houses whereof you possess the keys, or your friends' houses. It is no sin in you that you eat together or separately. So when you enter houses, greet your people with a salutation from Allah, blessed and godly. Thus does Allah make clear to you the messages that you may understand. Section 9, matters of state to take precedence. Only those are believers who believe in Allah and his messenger. And when they are with him on a momentous affair, they go not away until they have asked leave of him. Surely they who ask leave of thee are they who believe in Allah and his messenger. So when they ask leave of thee for some affair of theirs, give leave to whom thou wilt of them, and ask forgiveness for them for Allah. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. Make not the calling among you of the messenger as your calling one of another. Allah indeed knows those who steal away from among you, concealing themselves. So let those who go against his order be aware, lest a trial afflict them, or there befall them a painful chastisement. Now surely Allah is whatever is in the heavens and the earth. He knows indeed your condition, and on the day when they are returned to him, he will inform them of what they did, and Allah is knower of all things.
Chapter 25, the discrimination. Brother Jamel.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Chapter 25, the discrimination. Section 1, a warner for all nations. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Blessed is he who sent down the discrimination upon his servant, that he might be a warner to the nations. He whose is the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and who do not take to himself a son, and who has no associate in the kingdom, and who created everything, then ordained for it a measure. And they take besides him gods who created naught, while they are themselves created, and they control for themselves no harm nor profit, and they control not death nor life, nor raising to life. And those who disbelieve say, this is nothing but a lie, which he has forged, and other people have helped him at it. So indeed, they have brought an iniquity and a falsehood. And they said stories of the ancients, which he has got written. So they are read out to him morning and evening. Say, he has revealed it, who knows the secrets of the heavens and the earth. Surely he is ever forgiving, merciful. And they say, what a messenger is this? He eats food and goes about in the markets. Why has not an angel been sent down to him to be a warner with him, or a treasure given to him, or a garden from which to eat? And the evildoers say, you follow, but a man bewitched. See what parables they set forth for thee. They have gone astray, so they cannot find a way. Section 2. Truth of the warning. Blessed is he who, if he please, will give thee what is better than this, gardens wherein flow rivers, and he will give thee palaces. And they deny the hour, and we have prepared burning fire for him who denies the hour. When it sees them from far off, from a far off place, they will hear its raging and roaring. And when they are cast into a narrow place thereof in chains, they will there pray for destruction. Pray not this day for destruction once, but pray for destruction again and again. Say, is this better, or the garden of perpetuity, which the dutiful are promised? That is a reward and a resort for them. For them therein is what they desire to abide. It is the promise to be prayed for from thy Lord. And on the day when he will gather them, and that which they serve besides the law, he will say, was it you who led astray these my servants, or did they themselves stray from the path? They will say, glory be to thee. It was not beseeming for us that we should take for protectors others besides thee, but thou didst make them and their fathers to enjoy it until they forgot the reminder, and they became a lost people. So they will give you the lie in what you say, then you can neither ward off evil nor obtain help. And whoever among you does wrong, we shall make him taste a great chastisement. And we did not send before thee any messengers, but they surely ate food and went about in the markets. And we make some of you a trial for others. Will you bear patiently? And thy Lord is ever seeing.
Praise be to Allah. We have completed part number 18. If you have anything that you would like to share that stood out to you, go ahead and press the number 3 at this time. If you have anything that you would like to share, go ahead and press the number 3 at this time. Brother Remus?
Yes, sir. I'll kick it off. Um, if we go to chapter 24, Al Nur, let me find it. Yeah. Um, Let me find it. It's all right, let's go to 23. 23, chapter 24, verse 23 starts with this. It says, surely those who accuse chaste believing women unaware of the evil are cursed in this world and the hereafter, and for them is a grievous chastisement on the day when their tongues and their hands and their feet bear witness against them as to what they did. On that day, Allah will pay back to them in full their just reward, and they will know that Allah, He is the evident truth. Somebody's mic is open. It says, it goes on to say, unclean things are for unclean ones, and unclean ones are for unclean things, and good things are for good ones, and good ones are for good things. These are free from what they say. For them is forgiveness and an honorable sustenance. Um, we live in a time where people like to accuse people of stuff, probably because they want to get attention off of themselves. They want to accuse other people. And one thing I love about Islam is that there's an idea that if Remus accuses Ben of stealing, his car, and it comes out that Ben didn't steal Remus's car, whatever the penalty for stealing a car is, if Ben had done it, then he'd have to pay for it. That mistake, or that sin, let's just say. But if I accuse him of stealing and he is found not to have stolen it, I have to pay the price of stealing a car because I accused this person without full knowledge, without proof, without actual facts. And I love that so much, man, because as I look around America, around the cities that I frequent, the world, so much damage is done by accusations. Just the accusation alone has so much weight. It makes people think a certain way. It causes people to come to conclusions and judgments, and now they can't even see that person in the right light anymore because in their mind, the accusation already has condemned that person. And this is, even if we look at America's law, we look at the Islamic law, of course, like I'm saying, there's a strong exhortation to not become that way because without the facts, it causes a damage that, in truth, somebody could live a life and not be repaired because of that ill image that's been painted on somebody. And to me, when that law is like it is in the Islamic world of you accuse them of this and they didn't do this, so now you have to pay, what that would cause to happen in a short period of time is people would be real careful what they say, especially when it comes to accusations, because they would understand, ooh, if this what I'm saying is not true, I gotta pay this big price. So I just love that.
Yes, sir. Brother Jamel.
Sir, Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. Real quickly, Surah 23, verse 62. And we lay not on any soul a burden except to the extent of his ability. And with us is a book which speaks the truth, and they are not wrong. What this teaches me is the magnificent mercy and a power of Allah that, when uh, he created us and gave us problems to overcome. And he knew uh, within man, certain parts of the Quran it says man is created in haste, which means, we like to hurry things up. We like things the fast way. We oftentimes like to take the path of least resistance. This verse helps me to understand that whatever it is I'm going through, and I try to make this a practice each and every day as much as I can. Uh, if any misfortune comes in my life, or if any hardship comes in my life, I always try to say, praise be to Allah. Thank you for Allah for trying me like this to bring out the best qualities in me. And if any good comes into my life, I make sure that I say that as well. So, this just helps me to understand the mercy of Allah that, when he puts us through things, it's only to bring the best out of us. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir. The first 2 points was very, very beautiful. Um, I was looking at the very opening of the surah where, so those who believe, I don't have my Quran in front of me. I'll just take the point that I do remember. It says, shun what is vain. That's interesting because in the study guides, one of the 7 devils that adversely affect our will is vanity. And here Allah is telling us the believer, or the believers, they shun what is vain. So I thought that was a very powerful point. Also, I don't remember the verse, but I know that it said that the disbelievers or the opposers of truth, they said that our adversity overcame us. And it made me think about how we're always going to be involved in some form of adversity in this world. There's a fight that we have to have. But the believer fights in the name of Allah. We fight with faith, we fight with truth, and we don't second our faith to the adversity. We put our faith in the front of the adversity. But if I allow my adversity to overcome me, and I'm so focused on the adversity, well, I'm not trying to let Allah be my center and help me overcome the adversity, but I'm trying to overcome it with my own knowledge, my own whims, my own strategies, my own plan. Then I'm going to be like that first. My adversity is going to overcome me. Then in the end, I'm going to look to Allah after I'm drowning in my adversity. And that's when I'm going to find myself in serious trouble. And the last point that comes to me is when just Surah 24 in general, I believe it's the only chapter that opens up with this is obligatory. And it made me think, why is this chapter obligatory? And I looked at how the chapter deals so much with the women, the protection of women, the elevation of women, the sacredness of women. And it just made me think about the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. A nation can rise no higher than its woman. Where there are no decent women, there are no decent men. So the woman is a mother civilization. So I can see why that chapter is obligatory. And our dear brother Remus made a wonderful point with the accusation, because in the supreme wisdom, the devil accused the righteous, causing them to fight and kill one another. So accusations bring about a fighting, not just on a physical level, but it brings about a fighting on a spiritual level. So we are instructed avoid suspicions, because in some cases it is sin. So that was what I got out of this morning's reading thus far. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Let's go to Brother Lakil.
Good morning. Good morning. So what stood out to me um, is just the whole aspect of it all, Ramadan. I'm new to this all. Um, Honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just know I ordered a message to a black man in America, got my Quran, How to Eat to Live, 1 and 2, Supreme Lessons. And I've been just diving in, and what I'm getting, I guess, from this month of Ramadan is not just the fasting part, but being mindful of God and just myself. Um, and at this age 33, it's a big thing for me because I've never understood mindfulness of myself or of God. I just always would call on God or Allah or pray or what. Uh, so this is all new to me, and I'm I'm not nervous. I'm fully overexcited. Like every time I hear Minister Louis Farrakhan, it sets a fire under me, and then I'm like, I don't know what to do. I feel like so far behind. Uh, but yeah, no, I'm blessed to know that Allah has definitely led me to Islam, uh, and this is where I'm supposed to be, and I am definitely uh, witness to that because I don't know none of this, the whole Islam and the Quran and everything. I never would thought this would what I'd be doing in my life today. So I just wanted to say, all praise to Allah and thank you for the messengers and everything. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Are you what area are you in?
I'm in the Kansas City, Missouri area.
Is there a study group near you?
I um I'm not sure. I'm trying to, I guess, get caught up to where I need to be. I've just located the mosque, number I think 30, out in Kansas City, Missouri. So I'm I don't know, it's just so much information, so much knowledge and love and just wisdom. And it's like, I don't know what to do. And then I heard Minister Louis Farrakhan say, Brother Ben, is he in here? And then from then it was like, boom, here. And it's just been coming. So I don't know about study group, but I would love to be one.
Praise be to Allah. So locate your local Muhammad mosque or study group. So if it's mosque number 30, if that's Kansas City, if that's what that is, on Friday at maybe give them a call, make sure they're still at the location that may show up on Google or on Facebook. So just Google it, Kansas City, if that's what I think that's what you said, Muhammad Mosque.
Yeah.
If it comes up, give them a call, reach out to them, see if they respond. Friday at 7:30, we have self-improvement study group. So this is for anybody. Find your local Muhammad Mosque study group. You do not have to join to go to study group. You can just visit as a guest. I would love for you to be a guest of mine. Let them know Brother Ben X sent you. But on study group, we go over our self-improvement study guides where we go over the the struggle for balance, rising above emotions into the thinking of God, building the will, struggle for balance, overcoming difficulty. These are different study guides that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave to us. And, just go, don't, and I would say you do know a lot. It's not that you have no idea what's going on. You know that we're fasting for 30 days. We don't eat while the sun is up. We don't eat food. We don't drink. We got your message to the black man. You got your how to eat to live. And you're just in the search for knowledge. That's what you're currently doing. When you go to the study group, you'll learn, through example. You'll know what the Assalamu alaikum mean, Allahu Akbar mean, what does Takbir mean, and whatever you don't know, feel free to ask questions. One thing I loved about the Nation of Islam when I first joined is that they encourage you to ask questions, especially when you're amongst a student minister who's been in for decades, then got training, and they'll be able to give you the right answer. So, just go to the study group, man. Check out the study group and, ask questions whenever you can. And then just kind of go from there. And whenever you feel compelled to join and you're ready to make that move, make that move. But yes, get into your message to the black men in America. Definitely start there. That is the foundation of our teachings when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was physically among us. I would encourage you to also get the book Closing the Gap, because the book Closing the Gap is, to me, very needed, because the minister goes into the depths of what the teachings mean. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad at that time is giving you the base, but the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is now going beyond the surface level inside of the Closing the Gap. It is a Q&A with him and Brother Jabril, where they're going into the depths of the teaching and showing you what things mean. He's going into Muslim and Christian. Every good Muslim is a Christian. He's going into devil, why he told him to stop using the word devil. So he's going into all of that. And then, of course, just continue to watch as many lectures as you can, man, and keep your eyes on him. He is the guide to take us to the Lamb, and the Lamb is going to introduce us to the God. So that's what I will share with you. Just find your local Muhammad Mosque and just continue to go. They have it on Fridays, also Wednesdays as well, and then Sundays at 10 a.m. if you can make those meetings. You do that, man, and just let them kind of guide you and ask questions. I think you're gonna be pretty much all right.
Thank you, Brother Ben.
You're welcome. Up next we have Sister Ebony.
Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak.
Wa alaikum salam.
What stood out for me is the part that I was reading, Section 8, respect for privacy. The two ayats. I'll just read them real quick. So it's 58. O you who believe, let those whom your right hand possesses, and those of you who have not attained puberty ask permission of you 3 times, before the morning prayer, and when you put off your clothes for the heat of noon, and after the prayer of night. These are 3 times of privacy for you. Besides thee, it is no sin for you nor for them. Some of you go round about waiting upon others. Thus does Allah make clear to you the messages. And Allah is knowing wise. And when the children among you attain to puberty, let them seek permission as those before them sought permission. Thus does Allah make clear to you his messages, and Allah is knowing and wise. So for that, it stuck out to me just as a mother, and for us mothers, I think oftentimes, especially those of us who are at home with our children, whether we're homeschooling or stay-at-home mothers or work-from-home mothers, or running a business, it's a lot. It's a lot of work that sometimes often goes or under noticed and underappreciated sometimes. But Allah put it in the book for us to allow time for ourselves for privacy. That's how I interpret that anyways. I remember at one point when when I was homeschooling all of my children, and I would basically tell them that before a certain time, like, I'm off duty, so you got to figure it out. I'll take care of everything when I'm at work, so to speak. And I never actually I did that prior to this understanding or knowledge, but as it says, Allah is knowing and wise, and he put that in there. I believe he put that in there for us to take time for ourselves, even though sometimes it's really difficult to do, to make time, with responsibilities and obligations and whatnot. But it says here, and even in the footnotes, it basically says that, rules relating to personal and family privacy are of utmost importance in the betterment of social relations, and their non-observance leads to all kinds of false reports, which scandal mongers are always ready to lay hold upon, thereby creating dissensions in society. So I just think that's a really good way of not only the mother having a break and honoring her time as a woman, as an individual, but also instilling in those children boundaries, respect, acknowledgement for acknowledgement for her work and her duty. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to share. And if the moms listening, you should take heed to this and take time for yourself. That's all. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Sister Melissa.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Ramadan Mubarak. Okay, this is my first time speaking, so I'm a little nervous, but what stood out to me in Surah 23, verse ayat 24, 47, 48, and 105 through 16 was the repetition of them emphasizing that messengers are mere mortals. They weren't willing to see past the person and hear God in them or on them with the words that they were speaking. And I feel like this is something that I feel we all do. And this has been me, where in my ignorance, I wasn't willing to listen, or in my ego, I wasn't willing to listen to somebody because I wasn't there in my journey yet. I wasn't deep in the teachings yet for myself. So when it came time for me to listen to people when they were speaking things to me through Allah, from Allah through them, I had to go through things that weren't necessary for me to have to go through. But in that instance, since my mind wasn't where it needed to be at the time, I did need to go through that in order to elevate my mindset to get to where I needed to be. So I just feel like in the end, when judgment comes, the excuse of not wanting to listen just because we didn't want to listen will not be enough. We will have to account for our actions in choosing to be disobedient and not listen when Allah was speaking to us through these people. So, yeah, he has extended grace to us multiple times. So we have to really fall in line and understand that he does speak through mortals. He does speak through us, through each other, for us to get these messages so that we can elevate to that version of ourselves that he has made us to be. That's all I have to say, family. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. Just to let everybody know, I do have a meeting hard stop at 8:55 because I have a meeting at 9, so we may not get through everyone. Up next is Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Yeah, just beautiful today, every day. Um, Thought about some things I was going to say pertaining to just persevering and sticking, and so much of that exhortation in the Word of Allah always is there. And then Brother Lakil, when he spoke, um, I definitely remember that time of being brand new and early. I thank Allah for a brother that told me, brother, you want to see at least 300 messages. This is what the brother said of the minister. You haven't even gotten acclimated yet if you haven't seen. And he said, keep your eye on the minister. And I know you said the same words, Brother Ben. And I can't stress that enough because all of us are striving, and thank Allah for the minister being sat in that seat of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the remembrance of these words and to have these words in a language that we understand is so crucial, and delivered in a way where he talks about his mother, he talks about his upbringing, he talks about stealing cookies, and his mother knew how many he took and how many existed, and just the palpable example of living and submitting one's will and perfecting the heart and becoming a better person and being patient and because the minister's example, just know that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad would never, ever, ever have said, wherever he says go, go, talking about the minister. And he said this about nobody else. And I'm convinced, having studied the minister, been around and lived this life, that it's because of the quality of his heart. And that I believe, I heard the minister, I don't believe this part, that I know that is what it's about. And I've watched the minister say so many times things like, choose life. And these teachings are life. It's not death. Choose life. And he says, you don't know how sweet it feels when you submit your will to do Allah's will so thoroughly, the peace that comes over. I heard, I think the Christian world talked about a peace that surpasses human understanding. Like there's such a reward in being able to not have to look over your shoulder, maybe as much, or maybe not at all. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what you're doing is coming from a pure place. And Allah knows that intention. And to just take real refuge and real security and real protection in knowing that when you know you're doing what's right, the rest will fall into place somehow, some way. Allah knows. And I will say this again, in parting on this part. I remember when I first came in, brothers would ask me, oh, brother, you a Muslim? And brothers were saying it, and I knew that they were saying it because they knew other people that were Muslims. And I was brand new, 26 years, only Catholicism, only Christianity. Coming into the nation, I heard the minister, and I heard Jesus. I said, oh, that's what it sounded like. Today, if Jesus was here today, I said he would be talking like that, man. I wasn't even in the nation, wasn't in Islam, never went to a mosque in my life. But I said, if what I'm hearing this man saying, everything I've learned about Jesus, that man is talking a way that's in alignment with what I hear Jesus saying in this Christianity stuff. In 2020, well, it wasn't 2020 at that time, 1994, 1993, when I'm listening to the minister, 1989. And I'm saying that right there, I recognize that courage. To talk like that, he, he got to know God because nothing else is going to protect that man but God talking the way he's talking. And that, to me, man, that courageousness was so beautiful and so powerful to see that example and to realize I don't know Islam. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I don't know Islam. I can't tell you I'm a Muslim. I said, Allah knows what I am. I knew enough to say Allah because I knew I had this bow tie on and I knew I was walking with these other brothers in the neighborhood. Thankfully, in LA, there was a whole lot of Muslims, unlike your situation. I would say if you can get to Chicago, I don't know what your budget's like, but at some point to see headquarters, because I know in a lot of cities, I told someone from Cleveland to go find a mosque, and
1 minute.
because of COVID, yes, sir, because of COVID and different reasons, there was no real building anymore where they had in that area, in that particular area. So I don't, but to know where headquarters is and to see that operation happen there, that'll help you wherever you are, because but just again, never lose sight of the minister. Always keep your eye on that man and his words, because that'll help you navigate amongst others that are still in their process. We all in the process. So don't ever think that because you may or may not be treated all the way right, there's something wrong with Islam or the nation of Islam or Minister Farrakhan. Just know that you bumping up against others that are also struggling as well.
Yes,
Enjoy
sir.
your journey.
Brother Patrick.
Peace, family. I want to be quick. I know you got a few minutes. I want to give other people a chance to talk. But yeah, one thing that stood out to me was when it was talking about another brother that I was reading, he had a different version. And when he was talking about, I think Surah 24, when they were talking about evil women are for evil men and the evil men are for evil women, saying that the unclean do unclean things and the clean do clean. It just reminded me, I was reading that book, I think it's As a Man Thinketh in His Heart. And they were talking about how, you know, a saint that doesn't purify itself may as well not be a saint. And I think about how, you know, these titles, like these religions and whatnot, it's not about saying like, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian. You know, you're supposed to judge a man by his work. So, you know, we can talk about being clean, all this and that and all day, but it's really more so about what it is that we're doing. And another thing I wanted to touch on too, the sister brought up where men are mere mortals. I feel like a lot of us, you know, in transition as well, you know, a lot of us, like I spoke about yesterday, we were brought up in the Christian faith. And a lot of us were told like, hey, you know, you need to, you know, bow down to a man that supposedly died for us and whatnot. But once we understand and like read the parallels and things that happened like between Jesus and Moses and how they kind of went through the same things, um, you'll see in the message that it's really more so about the principles than it is about, you know, the messenger itself, because we're supposed to be able to see the God through everybody. And another thing too, when you talked about closing the gap from Farrakhan, just another parallel, you know, Farrakhan writing about that, and you said that Elijah Muhammad laid the foundation. I was listening to Nur Muhammad one day, and he talked about how basically Moses was laying down the foundation with the laws that was given, which were the 10 Commandments. And then Jesus, he basically amplified that message by bringing those laws up to the mind. So it's not just, you know, saying thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal and whatnot. It's really more so if you can have it in your mind first, and it wouldn't even get to that point. So if you can get to the point where you're thinking right, then you won't even do wrong at all. So yeah, I just want to touch on those few things.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Alaikum salam. Thank you. Sister Sherry.
Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, sir. I was looking at Surah 2365, the word succor. It means to help or to comfort, and how Allah blesses us. At the time, you know, we ask for these blessings, and then when we get the blessings, we don't listen. We don't do what we're supposed to do with the money. We don't give great thanks to Allah, and how Allah looks at that. And when He looks at that, and then we reject the message. When the minister is the you know, he's the truth. He's the one that's giving us the message, and how we reject it. And then when distress comes in, we ask for help from Allah, and how Allah is not you know, it says in 65, cry not for succor. This day surely you will not be helped by us. So if you reject Allah, Allah will reject you back. And that's all I wanted to say.
Yes,
But
ma'am. Thank you. Sister Tyra?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Walaikum salam.
Hi, I'm new to the Muslim community and everything, and I'm like struggling right now with like my path and my calling, I guess I'll say. I'm not really sure. I think I'm just having a hard time. I feel like I'm full force into the Quran and like the fasting and everything. And so I don't know if I'm processing everything at a healthy speed. So uh like Miss Sherry just said, I kind of feel like helpless a little bit because I don't know if I'm missing out on the messages that Allah is sending to me, or am I just overthinking what I am intaking?
Mm-hmm. You got an example?
So I guess polytheism, and then going from that to going into the fasting and submitting to Allah's will, and now I'm having this power struggle of trying to forgive myself for falling into that and knowing that Allah has forgiven me, and then it's just like a power struggle right now. So I kind of feel out the loop with the creator, if that makes sense.
When you say falling into that, falling into what?
Just like on yesterday, I missed out on the fasting because I just kind of got into a slump of my mind,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel uncertain, and I've been kind of worrisome about it. And then I'm just kind of all into the Quran, and it's new for me. And so I don't know where I stand with the creator. I hope that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. How was your upbringing like? Did you deal with this in your upbringing?
What do you mean?
Like if you wasn't perfect, how was that looked upon? How was that dealt with if you didn't get things right?
I feel like I'm a imperfect perfectionist.
And why is that?
I just I guess it's the same with the creator. I feel like I'm out the loop when I have this moment of weakness, and it kind of trumps all the progress that I've made. Because when I went into the fasting, I was fasting before I knew that the fasting was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was guidance from Allah. And I went into it, and I was committed to it. And now towards the end, I feel like I've fallen, and I'm struggling with that.
Got it. Okay. That's fair. So what I would say is, number one, we have all in some type of way, quote unquote, failed or didn't meet up to a standard maybe that we set for ourselves. We've seen over and over in the Quran during our reading, it talks about those who repent. Allah is merciful. He's Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. And I encourage you to figure out where that feeling is coming from of the perfection. And if I make a mistake, I'm falling, especially when it comes to Allah, because he is very understanding of our heart, where those of us who are our parents, those of us who are our friends, our mates, we may not be as patient because we don't know the heart. But I'm sure, and I can hear it in your voice, that you want to do right. Just fall short at times, as we all do. So identifying where that real thought comes from. See, many times, as I've, even talked with others, we have a position of being hard on ourselves because when I was younger, if I made a mistake, that was looked at a certain type of way. So I'm carrying that into my adulthood, and I may be carrying some of those thoughts and actions of others and attributing it to how Allah sees me. So I want to share a video from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's granddaughter that I think will be very important for your journey and where you are right now. And I'm pretty sure it'll be helpful for others. Check this out.
You also start to feel like, am I even worthy to even have this?
Exactly.
And so I talked to my grandfather, said, I'm sorry, Grandpa, I haven't been doing my best. I know I can do better. And he said, well, baby, look at this tree. And it was a tree similar to like this big old oak tree back here. And he said, you see how that tree just keeps growing all the way to the top? I said, yes, sir. He said, you see those branches? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, sometimes even a tree deviates from the straight path. But as long as you keep returning back to it, you're going to keep growing and you're going to be a beautiful tree. And so it gave me the comfortability to be like, okay, I'm not perfect. I will never be perfect. But as long as I'm striving.
As long as you striving, sister. Oh, man, as long as you... Listen, sister, do you know... Let me share something with you. It's 68 people on this Zoom right now. There was hundreds when it first started. The fact that you here, the fact that you getting up in the morning and you say you new to this, do you know it's those who's not new to this who understand these teachings, who understand the power of these teachings, and they ain't here? Not saying that they got to be here, meaning, but they ain't get up. Some that's been in it may not be fasting, not because of their sickness, because they say, I don't know about this year. But here you are new, trying, striving, reading it, and then you feeling the conviction of it. That's how you know God is with you, when you going through it and you fall and you can feel the conviction. When you don't feel that no more, that's when you need to be worried. When you slip up and you don't feel no way about it. See, I know Allah is with you because you feeling the way and you vulnerable enough and honest enough to say it in front of us when you slip up. That means there's a little conviction still. There's a self-accusing spirit that you have there. And I'm going to end off with this video from the minister because I got to go, but I want you to hear this too.
Allah will help you. Because once you get within right, you automatically better on the outside. I love you much. Keep striving, son. And if you slip, don't worry about it. We all mess up sometime. Just get right on back up. Ask Allah's help. I'm going to make it this time. Yes, sir. Okay. All right, soldier. Hope to see you again. Yes, sir.
They don't call me the clip guy for nothing, sister. So hopefully those two clips was able to give you a perspective to don't be so hard on yourself. You growing in this thing, man. We all growing in this thing. Some of us been in here 10, 20, 30, 40 and dealing with that same problem. So just know that whatever you're dealing with, any mistake that you make, be mindful of it, because the mistakes is going to bring out of us that which we didn't know was in us. The difficulty is going to bring out of us that which we didn't know was in us. So just keep that spirit of when I mess up, I feel bad about it. And then all we got to do is correct it. Get it back. Like what the minister just say, I'm going to make it next time. I'm going to make it this time. I messed up yesterday. I drank a little water, like, my mouth. But today, I'm going to do it today. I'm going to do it today. I'm going to get on through it. I'm going to get through my reading, whatever it is. That's a constant struggle. That ain't going nowhere. No matter if you join Islam, Buddhism, Hebrew Israelite, wherever you go, that struggle ain't going nowhere. So you might well get that up out your head. That struggle ain't going nowhere. No matter what religion you move to, that struggle going with you. So that's going to be a constant thing. But the attitude and how you handle it, that's what we need to get better at. So thank y'all for listening, man. I got to get to my meeting. Assalamu alaikum, and y'all have a blacktastic day.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.